Tell us how an ambassador knows what positions to present and to represent.
Well, first of all, you keep your finger in the wind the way Washington winds are blowing, because your bosses come from Washington. You serve at the pleasure of whoever the president is. George Shultz used to do a little trick with ambassadors before they went out to their posts. He'd call them into his office, and he had a big globe, one of these real large globes in his office. And he would stand up at one point and pull the ambassador over and say, "Show me your country." And some of the foolish ambassadors would point to Egypt or Chad. And Schultz, of course, would turn the globe around and point to the United States and say, "That's your country. Don't forget where you're coming from and who you represent." Well, some of us learned that lesson, so we knew what Schultz was going to ask. So first of all, you've got to stay very well tuned into Washington policy circles. It's easier today because of communications advances, emails and faxes and SMSs and so forth. And then you just do a lot of reading, and you recruit a lot of the good people who try to make sure you know what you're supposed to know. And at the end of the day, you also exercise a lot of autonomy. I mentioned at lunch that one of the things that I tried to inculcate into my staffs, both in Cairo and Tel Aviv, is that we were not sent out to these countries to be post office boxes. In other words, this was not a case where Washington simply wanted us to deliver a message. We were value added. We had something to add. We knew more than Washington about these countries. We lived there 24/7. We got to know the leadership better than anyone in Washington. And so I never accepted an instruction from Washington without looking at it carefully and, if necessary, arguing it with Washington to make sure that I thought